Am I the a-hole for telling my friends they aren't ready for a baby? I, 26F, recently learned that one of my best friends, 26F, and her husband, 29M, are expecting a baby. I feel like an a-hole since I didn't react with joy like everyone else, but I honestly can't support their decision. They've only been married for a couple of years, so there was plenty of time for them to settle down and have kids, in my opinion, but my friend has always had baby fever. I'm mainly concerned about their ability to be parents. They both work full-time, and when they get home they complain they are too tired to take care of stuff around the house, cooking, cleaning, etc. They eat out every night because my friend doesn't know how to cook and her husband just doesn't want to. Their house is always messy between dishes, laundry, and general filth. They also have poor money management skills, always shopping for stuff they just see and want but don't need rather than buying stuff like groceries to cook actual meals. They've struggled to pay rent a few times because of this. In addition, their house is incredibly small, overflowing with stuff and not a safe environment for a baby. It's very old and has a lot of issues. Realistically, how do you expect to take care of a baby with habits like that and in a space that isn't suited for them? When I expressed these concerns to my friends, they essentially told me I shouldn't worry about it because nobody is ever prepared to have a baby and that I should just be happy for them. I get that you're never really prepared, but you can have a game plan, right? Start saving and making sure you have the stuff and space required. How nonchalant they were about my concerns made me even more anxious. You'd think I was having the baby. Yesterday the topic came up again and my friend asked me if I had changed my mind about it, and when I told her no, she was grated. I also learned they are now trying to rush a move to get to a bigger and better house even though she's halfway through her second trimester. She's starting getting defensive, saying that just because I don't really want kids of my own that I was trying to bring her down, and that I should just support her pregnancy rather than being concerned about future problems. I told her that she and her husband were too caught in elation to see the reality that being a parent isn't just about cute baby clothes and being a friend to your child. I did get snippy, which I shouldn't have done, but it felt like she was just brushing away what I consider valid concerns. I did eventually apologize, saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't think I'm unjustified here," which didn't go well because it wasn't a real apology. Not one she wanted to hear, at least. I just can't bring myself to believe they are responsible or mature enough to have a baby, and that makes me feel like a bad friend. Am I the a-hole for kicking my daughter out because she hasn't found a job since moving in? Names changed for privacy. My daughter has not picked up any of my or my husband's calls over this. Were we wrong to have handled it this way? My daughter Amy, 24F, graduated university a couple years ago and has had several part-time jobs since then. She would work for a few months, quit and look for another job which has better pay. At the end of last year, she asked if she could move in with us, both in our 40s, so she could save money and look for a job in the field she graduated in. That sounded good to us, so we agreed. We did not expect any kind of rent or money from her at the time, simply that she would find a job. However, it's almost August and she has not found a job yet. We asked about her job hunt and she said she was still looking and has not had any offers post-interview. I feel tricked and lied to because surely she would have found a job by now. It's been months. She has also never mentioned going to any interviews, and it felt like she was lying to keep living here. Her field is one that is looking for more women to join the workforce. She has been living here for months to essentially do nothing. So, I talked with my husband and we both agreed it would be best for her to live with her aunt/my husband's sister, as she works in the same industry as the one my daughter graduated in. Maybe she could learn some things that will help her get a job quicker. We then told Amy that she needed to move out to her aunt's while she looks for a job because it's clear she isn't doing enough here and her aunt could help. She was upset, immediately asked that if she contributed to some of the bills, she could stay, but we said no and it was time for her to get more serious about applying for jobs. She said nothing and packed her bags and left. We tried calling her today to ask her how her aunt's house is. She lives an hour's drive away, and did not answer us. Instead, she sent us a spreadsheet/tracker of sorts which detailed job roles, application links, dates and stages of application where multiple said interview. I immediately felt guilty and tried to call her again. She will not pick up, and her aunt sent my husband a text asking us to respect Amy's privacy while she stays with her. Were we assholes here? We tried doing what was best. Am I the a-hole for getting irritated by my husband eating in front of me? I have certain religious dietary restrictions that include not eating certain things and fasting during certain religious times. My husband isn't. When I'm required to fast, he thinks it's hilarious to go to my favorite restaurant, get my favorite dish to go, and eat it in front of me. When I tell him he's being mean-spirited, he says that I'm doing it to myself and that I could partake if I really wanted to, and that I shouldn't get irritated with him. I try not to let it bother me, but he does this every time. I usually just leave the room, but then he says I'm being too sensitive. Am I the a-hole for charging my pregnant cousin for a new wedding dress after she told me about her pregnancy last minute? I 29F own a bridal shop. My cousin Lucy 27F is getting married in 2 months and I designed and tailored her wedding dress as a gift. She paid me for the materials. It will take another week to finish the dress, and I constantly update Lucy on the status of her dress and asked if she is happy at every stage and if she had any more ideas. She would make the odd comment, but never anything major. The dress in total took me just over 4 months. Last weekend, her and her fiancé hosted a family dinner, and at the end, Lucy announced she was pregnant. At the dinner, I congratulated her and her fiancé. She came to my store with my aunt that week for her final fitting. I again mentioned the pregnancy and asked how far along she was. She was 12 weeks along and told me how hard to keep the pregnancy a secret. I told her the dress wouldn't fit her at 20-ish weeks during the wedding and she said she knew and asked me to retailor the dress to fit her new proportions as she would showing heavily at the wedding. I told her I can't do that due to the intricate beading that I will have to carefully remove and reattach. I told her she might as well get a new dress as it would be easier for me to start from scratch and essentially I was just making her a second wedding dress. She agreed and then I gave her the invoice for a new dress. I gave her a breakdown and charged her for materials, tailoring, labor and overtime, still with a discount. I will have to work outside my hours to make her the new dress on time as I have a busy schedule with existing clients that pay full price. I told her if she had told me about her pregnancy from the second she had found out, I might have been able to adjust the dress then, but it is complete now. She said her fiancé wanted to keep it private, which I understand, but I wouldn't have told anyone, and I only needed to know for the dress purposes. She called me the a-hole for not understanding where she is coming from and said she will only pay for materials. I refused to back down, and told her that this close to the wedding she will struggle to finalize a new dress she likes and get it tailored in time as she will be pregnant. I also refused to give her the dress sketch, as it was my design and I didn't want her to replicate my work elsewhere. She left angry with her mom who later called me up to say Lucy is upset about not having a dress this close to the wedding and that I am being cruel because this stress is not good for the baby. Am I the a-hole for paying for a lounge at an airport during a long layover? I'm traveling with 5 friends now and we are traveling cheap. However, we had one long layover in an airport with a great VIP lounge. The thing about these lounges is that they have free food and liquor, and comfortable chairs and shower facilities. I told my friends what I was about and they all said that they didn't want to waste money. So I went to the lounge by myself. I had some snacks, a few drinks, a quick nap, a long hot shower, and then I caught up with my friends at the gate. My phone was fully charged, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and a little drunk. When we started talking they were bitching about the cost of everything at the airport. They said why I looked so pleased with myself. I told them about my stay in the lounge. 2 of them got visibly angry. They said I was an a-hole for not telling everything there was in the lounge. They had actually spent more on food and drinks than I had. Plus I got to nap in a comfy chair and have a shower. I said that lounges aren't a secret and that the internet exists. They could have looked up the same information I did.